In today's presentation, I will be discussing ransomware, the evolution, and the prevention thereof. So what is ransomware? Ransomware is a malware that blocks or restricts the use of a computer system in exchange for payment. The first recorded attempt was in 1989, and it was known as the AIDS ransomware, and it was spread through a floppy disk that would count the number of times a computer system was powered on and off, and after a set number of times, it would lock out the user, and a ransom of $189 was requested to be sent to a P.O. box. So what are the types? There are two main categories of ransomware, the first being locker ransomware or lockerware, which locks a system, but it can easily be undone if a computer system is rebooted in safe mode. The second main type is encrypting ransomware or cryptoware, and this locks the user out of their device and encrypts all the files on their system. And the only way it can be done is by decryption key. And there are other types that are also mentioned that aren't typically within the main categories, known as scareware, which scares a user into thinking that something's going to happen to their system. And then leakware, which encrypts the data, and then the attacker begins to leak parts of files that are on the computer system as a way to force the victim to pay out the ransom. So what does lockerware look like in action? The most common type of lockerware are screen lockers, and this just locks the device, the screen only, and prevents access from other functions of the device. A ransomware message appears on the screen, but the data is not encrypted. This type isn't commonly used just because of the ability that it can be recovered. The next main type, cryptoware, an example of this is NetWalker, which was really talked about in 2020. This is a Windows-specific ransomware, and it spread a lot throughout the COVID-19 pandemic and was masked through advisory emails. This specific type used asymmetric cryptography, and it used VB-script for UAC bypassing. Many of the victims of this ransomware included healthcare organizations, specifically during COVID, municipalities, law enforcement agencies, school districts, and colleges. The payment method for this type of ransomware is cryptocurrency due to the anonymity it provided and the untraceability of it being tracked back to the attacker or the service itself that was provided. How exactly is ransomware spread? Phishing emails or social engineering are the main source, as many victims fall victim to emails being sent encouraging them to download a service or to click on a specific link, and that link contains malware. Malvertisement or pop-up ads are also another source, as they provide an advertisement of a service that the person thinks that they have to download for their system. Social media and SMS messages are also another source. An example of this are Facebook links that are sent to users who may have been hacked or are victims of hacking of their social media accounts. And there's also another scam that goes around, which are bank text messages, where a victim thinks they are receiving a text message from their bank, but is actually the attacker trying to gain their information. Ransomware as a service has been extremely popularized now in the dark web, where service providers are giving services for lower level attackers and provide them with ransomware that they can use to spread. Removable media devices or USB insertion is also another source of ransomware being spread. What ransomware looks like as a process: the first step is infection, where the social engineering or force into a system comes into play, where the spreading of the malware starts. Encryption and locking is the second phase of the process, where a system is locked or the files are encrypted. A demand for a ransom is the next step, where the message is displayed on the screen and the ransom amount is given. And then the end result is the final step, where the person either chooses to pay the ransom or they choose not to pay the ransom. Ways to prevent yourself from becoming a victim of an attack. The first is social engineering training, or better or consistent security training for all employees of an organization. The second is to update patches for software and operating systems. Early detection software is also a step. filtering suspicious emails, controlled access to folders, and also to disable Java and JavaScript, which can allow malvertisement to pop up.